Congratulations. Obviously, not just an impressive win, but a very dominant performance. I want to ask you, I know you wanted to get back in the win column, but how important was it to not just get a win, but to go out and do something like that?
Yeah, everyone says, like, what are you going to do now after you lose to a title fight? And it doesn't matter if it's a title fight or, your first amateur fight or anything like that. The most important way to get over a loss is to get a win. So, I think it was like 3 months ago I fought for the title. So I was happy to get a fight quick and just get a win.
Yeah. Looked like you were going to finish the fight early on. Obviously, she gutted it out. I'm just curious, how tough was that mentally, physically, when it feels like the fight's almost over? Now you got to end up going 15 minutes.
It wasn't too hard for me. We drill rear naked chokes I train at Renzo Gracie under John Danaher, and that's a very dominant position for a lot of the teammates there. I drilled it a lot, and I kind of know when it's 100% in. So I never really, there was like one point where I thought it was in a little bit more because of the noises she was making, but I never felt like I was completely locked under. Her hand was in with the glove. So it was just kind of that battle where I was like excited, but I was like, all right, I have to trust the technique and know it's not 100% there. So maybe move on.
The first 2 rounds completely dominated. The third round, you come out and strike a little bit. I'm just curious. I'm sure you probably could have taken her down again. You did at the end of the round. So why strike in the third round?
I just didn't, the first 2 rounds, the takedowns were just, I don't even really remember it happening. It was just go, go, go. I didn't think about it. And then in the beginning of the third round, I think I was, hesitating a little and thinking about it too much. And in my head, I was like, go for the takedown. I was just kind of hesitating. And then when I was like, fuck it, just go do what I did in the first 2 rounds. It worked so easily, and it was, very, very easy. So then it just like halfway through, it just kind of clicked. I'm like, all right, wait, go back to what you were doing. And then I, went for that.
Nice. Before the fight, you mentioned how freeing it was, and I'd be talking about, well, is a title shot next?
Mm-hmm.
Is a title shot next? So what is your career path now? That was a dominant victory over a ranked opponent. What do you want to do now?
I just want to keep fighting. Obviously, yeah, I want to fight for the title again, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this, but just not, I understand I just lost, and there's a lot of other girls, or there's like a couple other girls, maybe, I don't know about a lot, but that are, they'll get their opportunity. It's not like it was a close fight with me and Valentina. So, I'm honest with that and I understand. So I just want to keep getting fights. I don't care where they're ranked. I'm not going to be like, I only want someone ranked in the top 3 so I can fight for the title. I just want to get fights. The more I fight, the better I get. And I think that's the best way for me to, go back into the conversation for the title shot.
Katlyn, right here.
Yes.
After your fight, you brought up you were feeling baby fever too, which might get in the way if you want to keep fighting. Mm-hmm. So, what path do you choose at this point going forward?
Yeah, I'm 31, and some people are like, "Oh, you're young." I'm like, I've been, I first started competing in the Golden Gloves when I was 15 years old. So it's been over 15 years of fight camps. But that doesn't mean that I'm over it by any means. Sometimes I was afraid to say that because people take it the wrong way and they're like, oh, her head's not in it. That's not it at all. If my head wasn't in it, I wouldn't take a fight. But yeah, that is something I, definitely getting baby fever. I'm on the treadmill fight week watching like baby announcement videos and I'm like crying on the treadmill. That's a little bit different than I used to be watching like Mike Tyson videos. But yeah, I'm definitely still have fight fever as well. So, but, for me and my goals, I'm not going to move on to the next chapter of my life till I'm done fighting. So, I want to keep fighting. And especially when you have a good win, then you're like, I'm going to keep doing this, But, yeah, I want to get as many fights in as possible. I don't have a timeline or anything. It's just kind of whenever I feel ready. But I'm aware that I want my life after fighting as well. So I kind of want to not waste my time here.
And you also mentioned something, how you finally got to show your full potential in this fight, but what you don't really hear a lot from someone who's had this many fights in the UFC. So looking at your past fights, was there something that just didn't allow your full potential to come out?
I think in my last fights, I've been able to be pretty dominant in my striking and not take damage. And I think I kind of, in a lot of my fights when I didn't take damage. So I was kind of like, well, why change what I'm doing? But a lot of the fights, I've had split decision fights to fighters that I think I'm way better than. So, it's not kickboxing or boxing, it's MMA. So, I train so much jiu-jitsu and so much wrestling. So I might as well use it. I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu under John Danaher. I train with the best jiu-jitsu people in the world, and my husband's one of the best wrestling coaches in MMA. So I was like, I better use some of the stuff he teaches me.
Were those really your first takedowns in the UFC?
Yeah, I don't know if I've like ever attempted a takedown in any of my MMA fights. So yeah, I know how to do them. Obviously, I do them in practice. But I was like, let's make this a little bit easier. I'm not trying to get my face messed up tonight.
Does the victory feel a little bit sweeter knowing you got to avenge your loss against the Shevchenko sister?
No, not at all. It's not Valentina. It's her older sister that's not in the top 10. So it's I'm happy with the win, but it's not. Doesn't change anything with the title fight.
Her original opponent for the UFC Lincoln card, that was obviously postponed. How long did you have to train for Antonina for this fight?
I had about 4.5, 5 weeks, which was nice because originally it was, like 17 days. And I was like, and I live in New York, so nothing's like open, it's pretty crazy there. So I said yes before I even knew how I was going to train for it. I was just like, I looked at my husband. I was like, can you come to this fight? If no one can come and corner me, like, can you come with me? I have an Airdyne bike and a heavy bag in my garage. I was like, I'll get really good cardio, get my weight down. I was like, I can win this fight. I was like, if I just need someone to come with me. And this was when things were really bad and I didn't know what was going on. So I said yes before I really had a training plan. But luckily the fight got kind of pushed back more and I kind of found my secret locations and other people to train with. And I actually had an amazing camp. And thank you.